All right, today we are tackling this incredible yogurt souffle cake. I mean, look at it. It's got that amazing jiggle, that cloud-like texture. It looks super impressive, right? Well, you're going to be shocked at just how easy it is to pull off. So let's just jump right in. I love this because it really feels like an invitation, doesn't it? Let's make this together. It's all about creating something special right in your own kitchen. And here's the best part. This is the secret promise of the whole thing. You get all of that decadent, airy, just melt in your mouth goodness, but it's actually a lighter, lower sugar cake. So, yeah, pretty much guilt-free. Okay, so first things first. Every amazing cake starts with the ingredients. So let's check out the shopping list. And trust me, it's wonderfully simple. Okay, just look at this list. Seriously, only 6 basic ingredients. That's the magic right there. You've got your creamy yogurt, a little bit of honey for that natural sweetness, and then of course the eggs and flour to give it structure. Now that cake flour, that's super important. It has less protein, which is what gives you that incredibly fine, tender texture. And hey, you're in control of the sweetness. If you have a sweet tooth, feel free to bump that sugar up to 60 grams. All right, ingredients are sorted. Now it's time to build the foundation of our cake. Let's get into making that smooth, creamy batter. So this part is super straightforward. First, you just gently mix your yogurt and honey together. Then you'll separate your eggs. The yolks, they go right into the yogurt mix. That's where you get all that richness. The whites, we're going to save those for later. And finally, you sift in the cake flour. And don't skip the sifting. It's not just about getting rid of lumps. It actually puts air into the flour, which keeps the whole batter light and helps create that perfect creamy base. Okay, here is a major pro tip. You absolutely want to chill your egg whites. So why does this matter? Well, the proteins in cold egg whites are tighter, which means they whip up way better. You get a much more stable, much bigger foam. Seriously, this tiny little step is a total game changer for what's coming up next, which is where the real magic happens. And here we go. This is it. This is the part that literally puts the soufflé in our soufflé cake. This is where that magical, airy texture comes from. And I promise it's way easier than you think. So what even is a meringue? Think of it like this. It's just a ton of tiny air bubbles trapped inside a net of egg white proteins, and the sugar makes that net super strong. Now, in this cake, there's no baking powder, no baking soda, nothing. The meringue is what does all the heavy lifting. It's our all-natural secret weapon for making the cake rise. So to make it, you're going to beat those cold egg whites on high speed. As you're beating, slowly add in the sugar. What you're aiming for are stiff peaks. That means when you pull the beater out, the little peak of meringue that forms stands straight up and doesn't flop over. That's the structure for our whole cake. And here's another little pro trick for you. Once you hit stiff peaks, turn the mixer down to low for just 1 minute. This gets rid of any big, clumsy air bubbles and makes the meringue super fine and silky. Perfect. Now listen up, because this is probably the most important part of the whole recipe. You have to fold the meringue in, not stir it. You want to cut down through the middle with your spatula and then sweep it up and over from the side. We do it in 3 batches because it helps you be really gentle. The goal is to keep all that amazing air we just worked so hard to whip in. Okay, our batter is looking beautiful and airy. Now it's time for the bake. The method here is pretty specific, but if you follow it, you'll get a perfect cake every time. So, first up is the setup. We're using what's called a bain-marie, which is just a fancy name for a water bath. This is key because it surrounds the cake with gentle, steamy heat. That's what lets it rise slowly and keeps it from cracking or drying out. So, you'll wrap the bottom of your cake pan in foil, stick a dishcloth in a bigger pan so it doesn't slide around, pour in your batter, and then just give it a quick swirl with a chopstick to get rid of any big air bubbles on top. And of course, even when you're being super careful, it's so easy to miss one little thing. The baking sheet. You gotta have the baking sheet under the whole setup. It's a funny little reminder that, yeah, this small step makes getting that wobbly pan of hot water in and out of the oven 1,000 times easier. Trust me, it saves you a ton of hassle. All right, let's talk about the 2-stage bake. Stage 1, 30 minutes at a higher temp, 160 Celsius. This is all about getting that initial puff, that big rise. It sets the structure. Then, for stage 2, you drop the heat way down to 140 Celsius for another 40 minutes. This slower, gentler heat is what cooks the inside perfectly, giving you that creamy texture without burning the top. And I've got 2 more little secrets for you to guarantee a perfect cake. First, during that initial high heat bake, quickly open and close the oven door once or twice. It lets a little steam escape and helps stop the top from cracking. And second, halfway through that long, slow bake, give the pan a quick turn. That's how you get that perfectly even golden brown top. So after all that care and all that patience, it is time for the moment we have all been waiting for. The grand finale, the fluffy triumph. Okay, one last test of your patience, I promise. You have to let the cake cool down completely. Don't rush this. It's so important because that delicate, eggy structure needs time to set properly. This is what ensures it holds its beautiful shape when you finally take it out of the pan. And just look at that. That is the reaction we're going for. A perfectly risen, super light, jiggly masterpiece. It's just as much fun to look at as it is to eat. This is what you get, a spectacular dessert. It just goes to show when you understand the why behind each step, why we chill the eggs, why we fold so carefully, why we use that water bath, you really can turn a handful of simple ingredients into something absolutely extraordinary.